Right, this is the second video. We're going to now load in the Galaxian code and run it on this Galaxian board, which is a little bit strange since we don't have any program ROMs in this board. So when we do this, we're going to use the emulator to run the code and store the code in its RAM. Now I've selected on the emulator, I've selected 16K, which is the full program code area for Galaxian in a standard form. So I'm going to load in the bin file into that and then we're going to run it. So the Galaxian is sitting idle, the emulator is obviously idle, you can see the screen is like that. So now we have the tester up here. Now first thing I'm going to do is just set address 0, which is fine, and then we need to set the path. So you type in path. Now this points to where the actual program bin file will be. So path space control V, I've already copied it, pasted it, so that's it, and a slash at the end, and the path is now set. Now that means it will point to that location for the bin file. I've also, if you can see, set the file name to Galaxian_16K, which is the name of the file that I've got, and it's a full 4K. I've also set the bin to, the bytes to 000, which means if you have that, it will load in the bin file to its extent, and it won't, if you put in, say, FF bytes in there, it will only load FF bytes in the bin file, which we don't want. Setting it to address 0 means it's going to load the bin starting at address 0. Now address 0 actually is now the RAM on the emulator. It's a bit odd because normally address 0 will be ROM space, but because we've got the emulator plugged in with the RAM enabled, it's now RAM space. So to load in the bin file, we're just going to type load, and away it will go. It will start loading that bin file for me. There is a progress indicator that comes up. It's a little on the slower side because it obviously transfers the data from a bin file through the Pi, through the Arduino, and the Arduino then transfers it into the RAM of the emulator, so it's got quite a path to get into the chip. Every time a green arrow appears, that's 1K of data transferred. So I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to start it when it's almost finished, because that will save my memory again. So back in 2 ticks. Again, almost done. Still loading. Relatively speaking, it's been not that long. It's just that obviously if I video the whole thing, my memory will run out. You can see it's almost there. Any second now it should be done. I really need to get myself a better method of taking videos. Something that has more memory for a start would be a good idea. Anyway, we're almost there. There we go, done. So now to run that, this is in the easy emulator mode I'm in, which means you can just type commands like run, stop, etc. Reset is another command which will force a reset on the board. So to run it, we'll just do run. Simple as that. It tells you all the buses are now set to input, which means it's in the emulator mode. If you look down here, you can see the light's gone off, the emulator is enabled. Still no program codes, but now we have Galaxian running. You can see it will go through, it's got star field. Starting and stopping with Galaxians, the star fields seem to sometimes disappear. It's a little bit fuzzy, I don't know why. Hold on a minute, I wonder if I can do that. It's made it a bit clearer possibly. If you can see, it's actually Super Galaxians. I must have got the wrong bin file copied across, but anyway. You can see there's some problems with this board. There's obviously certain things missing on the screen, but it doesn't stop it from running. It's just obviously it's got a few little issues which will need to be fixed, but the board is used as a test board anyway, so it's not a big deal. Any second now the Galaxians will appear just to demonstrate it does actually do it. There you go, so it's pretty much working. There's no missiles either, so that's it. But it is working, right? So we've got the Galaxian now running with no program code on the emulator only. So that's not bad. So you could do that, and obviously if you stop the emulator, took the power off, put it back on, started it, the program code should be preserved. So to obviously stop the game, you could just do stop, for example. If I go there, you will see if I just type stop, it stops the game and the light comes back on, which means now I can actually sort of do things with the board if I wanted to with the tester. If I type run again, hopefully it will start back up. Here it does. So just type run and away it goes again. So you can start and stop the game. If I type in reset, I'll just show you on the screen there. So if I type reset in there, you can see if I go back to the board, it will force a reset on the board for me. And away it goes. So I'm just going to stop that again. Okay, so that's pretty good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to change the game over to something else. Because Galaxian, as most people probably will be aware, can actually run different things. Sometimes you need mods, etc. But we'll do something different. So we'll change it over to, say, let's say Moon Aliens, which is a Nichibutsu game, if I said that right. So I've also got that. So we'll just change that to, delete that and type in Moon Aliens, spelled right of course, and it has to be 16K again. It's just the same, it's the name of the file that I've stored. So I've changed it to that. Again, good measure, always put the address back to 0, and we'll do load for that. And it's found not the file, so what's happened there? I think it's Moon Alien actually. I think I've got the name of the file wrong. Off to a very good start, and I'm wasting space on my camera. Let's do that. It's definitely there, just trying to find it. Hold on. There we go. Obviously it's Moon Alien, not Moon Aliens. I should have got that right. Anyway, so it's loading that in, so I'm going to stop this again. In actual fact, this video is almost done. I can only do about 8 minutes at a time before my camera sort of expires. So you can see that's loading, so I'm going to stop this video and start another one carrying on from here. Okay, so I'll be back in a tick. Same idea as before.